Hello, how are you guys? Welcome in. Okay, so today was only a half day. Y'all, this was a hard day for me. I'm not gonna lie. Let me bring up our friend Allie. It's good to see everyone. Let me say hello and bring Allie up. Give me just un momentito. A million sparkles, a neat noodle, sexy wild thing, McLovin, freaking baby face claws. Hi. Hey, Music Mom. Hey, Cement Shoes. Hey, Christine. Hey, Shauna. That I didn't highlight. Hey, good Nunya. Good to see you, babe. Good to see all of you. Justice Jane. Hello. Oh, we'll see. I don't want to miss nobody. Teacup. Good to see you. I'm glad y'all are liking that intro. Hi, in my opinion, allegedly don't come from me. Hello. And hello, Angie. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I don't think that I did. I tried my best. That's all I can do. I can't give 150 like some other people. I only got the 100, but there you go. Hey, Allie. Long time no see, babe. How are you?
Dude, you just took the freaking words out of my mouth. About to say long time no see. But I'm doing okay. I just ate like a huge plate of chicken fried rice with yum yum sauce. Now I am ready to talk to you about this. Like, you know what? It's funny because when we started this, we knew nothing about this. For you guys who hadn't, this is your first one. We really don't know the case, only what's been presented in court. Jen knows a little more than me. She made our intro too. So she knows a little more, but not really much. But when we started, I was kind of just thinking, is this another case of like social media rumors? Like, for instance, all this like vitriol towards the Proudfoots and all this, the accusations and stuff. I kind of thought that's what it was.
Right.
Now, my head's just spinning because I'm like, oh my God, maybe it's not. What is going on here, dude?
See, that's how I felt after today's testimony. Okay. So again, like Allie said, Justice Jane wants to know if the yum yum sauce is the same as shrimp sauce.
I don't know. Yum yum sauce is like from the Japanese restaurant. It's like a light tan color, and you put it on like hibachi fried rice and hibachi chicken. Oh my God!
Look at you all fancy and shit. I think I'm doing big things with soy sauce.
Well, no, we just got Chinese food tonight, but I had some left over in the fridge, and so I mixed it together, and it was so good. I don't like soy sauce.
That does sound delicious. Okay, so here's my thing. First of all, okay, so like Allie said, we have not done any deep dives. Okay, so we don't know all of the back history and all of the minute details that went on pre-trial. Okay, but before I get into that, just because I haven't done it in a minute, and I would just need just a little minute. Thank you, Angie, for becoming a member. Welcome. Here's your little video. No, not smash. We're gonna do the video. Here we go.
Okay.
For the gossip, blah blah.
No malicious intent or effort
do,
Jen,
just for Allie, yes. Can you
you
hear me?
cannot do that to me. Now I can hear you and I'm excited, but I got to tell you, you cannot do that to me because now you got me out on the front freaking porch. Neighbors probably think I'm crazy out here dancing, like full on dancing, like butterfly. That's all. Let me see that
The
Tootsie
Tootsie
Roll.
Roll. I can do the Tootsie Roll, y'all. My husband taught me how
For
to
real
do
though.
it. I can do it.
I'm sure my
Okay,
neighbors
just
are
for
like,
you,
oh,
Allie.
Jesus.
This one's for you.
Okay.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
You. So do what Kai says. So,
That's old. Okay.
let me see. It's Tootsie Roll. The Tootsie Roll. To the left, to the left. All right. Now slide, slide. Come on now, baby.
Stop it now.
See? God, you just don't do, you know that I have, when it gets, I have to say it or it's going to bother me. It's going to be bad news bears. Okay. Let me
Noodle,
harness
you're so right.
all the chakras. Get my chi back. All right. Hold on. Let me let this fool in. Can y'all hear him? He's so annoying. Just so. Hold on, macaroni. Hold on. Come on,
A
man.
sexy wild thing. I'm thrusting my pelvis like
Look at this
Elvis dancing.
Shenanigans,
Y'all
Mac.
are
You're
so
making this a
silly.
hustle work environment. All right. Here we go. Okay, so it's been 2 days of court. Okay. Now, granted, the first day was taken up mostly by opening statements. And then we had a half day today. Okay. But we've had 5 fucking witnesses. This trial is going to go on for 77 years at this rate. Okay. So the first witness that came up today was Officer Saraf, and he was a continuation. He was the last person to testify yesterday. Okay. And basically, the cross examination, and this is where it got a little funky for me. Okay. This is where I started having the big questions. So he gets on the stand and it's cross. And basically, what he testifies to is the order and the time of the officer's arrival was wrong on the dispatch log. And then he was asked if the address being incorrect was because they were trying to cover up that it was the Alberts' home. And he does say that Karen Reed gave life-saving measures, but Jen McCabe didn't. And that Karen Reed also said, "Is he dead?" Now, "is he dead?" and "I hit him" are going to be the theme of today. Okay.
Right.
Now, then they showed, and let me get over here to this because I want to show you guys this, because maybe if I watch it a third time, I will understand what they're trying to show me, because I don't yet. I do not. I just want to be on tubes.
Well,
What did you think
Jen
about
and
this
I were
officer?
Well, we were talking before, I watched, okay, so I had to watch the first guy twice. Like, for some reason today I was pretty busy and things just weren't absorbing right. And I knew we were on your channel, so I wasn't taking notes like I would, I knew you were going to be like kind of doing it your way here. So it gives me a little slack to like, as far as note taking goes. So I was more listening as I was like doing errands and stuff like that. So I listened twice, but I will say I kept pulling up my phone to write in my messenger, and I don't know, I'm very, like I said, at first I thought it's just conspiracies, rumors, and I think you'll get into this, but from my notes, and the main takeaway from him is, for one, the address. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's being written incorrectly over and over. And like you said, I don't see anything wrong with her asking, is he dead? Apparently she had, they were even talking about blood on her face, trying to give CPR. Like you said, she was the one out of her and McCabe doing life-saving measures. Now, something I didn't know was, so Jennifer's sister, because we were watching it the second time,
Yes.
I caught that part. Like that's her sister's house, the Albert's house.
Yes.
And
yes.
she didn't even say that. I get like that was asked in the testimony. Did she ever say that was her sister's house? And I believe he said no, or maybe it was objection. But I mean, I don't know. My head's spinning, Jen. I don't even know what to think at this point.
Yes. This is where I'm confused about this. Now, here's where I have some questions. Okay. First of all, I did think that it was quite bold of him to just straight ask the officer, "Hey, did y'all write the address down wrong 11 billion times on purpose to keep the actual address out of, public record? Was it, to hide where this occurred?" I thought that was very bold, but I also thought it was very, very important. And where my brain went is, well, apparently it was too much for Allie because she said, fuck this shit, I'm out. She'll be back. But for me, when when he was asked on cross about, the address and then the testimony as far as like in front of the grand jury, why the address was wrong, and it wasn't consistently wrong. It's not like they said, and this is the part that I got confused about because now I don't even know what the damn ass address is. Is it 32, 34, or 35? I feel like it's 32, and they kept either referring to it as 34 and 35. That's the part that I had an issue with. It wasn't like it was just a mistake. And consistently, if it was the correct address was 32, but throughout the paperwork and the dispatch log and the testimony in front of the grand jury, they said that it was 34 all the way through. But that's not how it was. It was different. Okay, thank you, the good Nunya, because that was too much for your girl. Listen, I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of facts in this case. I'm doing the best that I can. And some of the data is not sticking because it's too full of music lyrics and movie references.
Well,
and I'm going to write it down somewhere where I can't lose it.
Well, honestly, Jen, think about this because coming in, we have no really prior knowledge. Again, we've already said that, but we are probably very much like the jury. And if we're having trouble kind of making sense of it all and having everything stick because it's very complicated, and the defense, I'm impressed. I got to be honest. I am impressed with the defense so far, but I'm sure the jury's like us. I can see them at home right now, probably just thinking over everything from today and yesterday, and their head's spinning as well.
Yeah. So then there's this exchange, and I'm going to show you. This is about this dash cam. Okay. Now, there's some. Let's just play this and see where we get. See if this explains anything, or let me get what you think out of this, Allie, because some of this testimony was a little bit hard to follow. I'm not going to lie. Although I did think the defense did a very good job. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Just to orient everybody, does this appear to be your dash cam?
Yes, sir.
Same dash cam you were looking at yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it, Mr. Graves. And pause it. Officer Seraph, just like it's not an eye exam, it's not a hearing exam either. I'm going to do the best I can to raise the volume. And Officer Seraph, I want to focus your attention, if you wouldn't mind, on 9 seconds after you say what happened. Just count in your head and listen very, very carefully to the woman's voice that responds to what she says. Go ahead. Pause it. Very, very hard to hear. Have you listened to that before?
No.
Does it appear to you that she said, my boyfriend, I left him and he never came home?
I couldn't understand anything.
Okay. let's replay it one more time. Turn the volume up one more time right at that moment. Listen for a woman's voice just under. Sorry, I was asking Officer Seraph, please listen to, there's a din of noise, obviously road noise, wind noise, etc. It's your dash cam, the audio from your dash cam. Once you close the door, listen very carefully about 9 seconds after you say what happened for a woman's voice and see if you can make out what that voice says. Sure. Stop. Did you hear? I left him and he never.
All right. What say you in the chat? He's done played this now, what, 3 times? I can hear
Something.
the officer say what happened. I can hear that a woman responds. I cannot hear what she says. So
I feel the exact same way. I agree with you. And do you think though that the police are in the same boat as, because I guess I'm already getting some bias just knowing the controversy, because I was watching this earlier and I was thinking, is he saying like, is he just not even trying to hear it? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know.
Right. But now that, okay, so when I was watching today, I was watching on 2 different things because I was working in the office. So I was watching on my iPhone. Okay. And then I had it going in my bedroom while I was folding laundry. You know, I'm quite productive. I'd be doing the most. But whenever I would take a break from doing the video, then I would go and I would, pull out the laundry or whatever, So I was watching it on the TV and I rewound this, which I know we're not supposed to do because it's the jury. We're supposed to be reporting on this as if we're hearing only and making our opinion solely based on what the jury heard. But I figured this fool rewound it 87 times and it's been admitted into evidence. So at the end of the day, the jury is going to get to take this back with them to deliberate. So I felt like rewinding wasn't the worst thing in the world. I didn't do any independent research. So I thought, okay, well, maybe, Dr. B's here. So I thought, okay, well, maybe when we go over this tonight and I have my headphones on, I will be able to hear what he's saying. Now, I'm not disputing that she spoke. I can definitely hear that she spoke. I just cannot say I don't know what she said. What say you, Dr. B? Okay, Dr. B remembers how to get on panel, but does not remember how to unmute. Okay, now she's got it.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine, babe.
My sound
I'm
didn't
so
switch to my
excited.
headphones. I know. Okay, so I missed like all of the things because what are we on? StreamYard made me do all of the things all over again. So
She was playing that recording from today where you're supposedly supposed to hear after 9 seconds. Gosh, I can't remember the exact phrase. Were you able to make out anything on that recording?
where she was supposedly saying I dropped him off and
he didn't come home.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I couldn't make it out. I did hear like a female voice, but I couldn't make out what was being said. And I could so, and the fact that like he suggested it, like there's, I could hear like, something along those lines, but like, no, you can't make out what was said.
And that was the problem for me. This is where I think, and just for a minute, I don't think the defense did a good job because what they did is they interjected what they think she says on there. And there is something called, what is that? Because they do it with the
Yeah, it's auto suggestion.
auto suggest audio. Yeah, audio. Is it auto or audio?
Auto, like
Auto
automatic.
suggestion.
Yeah.
They do it with those not spirit boxes, but the other thing that scans the channels on the AM radio, and it scans in between the actual frequency, so it's white noise. And
Oh, the spirit
yeah,
boxes.
yeah, but but it's, yeah, I guess it is a spirit box. Okay, so
Oh,
it is a spirit box. So whenever they like put the subtitle at the top or at the
Mhm.
bottom, wherever they put it on the screen, when they put fucking words on the screen that tells you what the heck is being said, you will hear what is being said.
Yeah.
Right.
You will hear it.
Yeah.
And so,
But here's where I kind of, so from my perspective, the sense that I get from the defense, just based on their opening, I'll try not to like interject prior knowledge,
okay.
but just based on the opening and just some of the like commonly known facts about the defense team, the fact that like she's practically depleted all of her finances to pay for them, and the fact that they've already defended like high profile cases in the past, like they've defended Kevin Bacon against the SA.
Oh, yeah, the cannibal.
Yes. Huh?
Wasn't he
No.
a
No, the actor. Is his name Kevin Bacon?
There's another.
Or no, Kevin Spacey.
Kevin.
Bacon.
Yeah, I was like, Kevin Bacon
Sorry.
didn't do it because the
Sorry.
Bacon is a victim in another
I
case.
just know it's a Kevin. Sorry.
Here we go. Now we're gonna make they're gonna be in trouble.
I know.
Teasing.
Spacey. And
Kevin
that's,
Spacey.
go figure, because that's my middle name. So anyway, so they have that they project that confidence, and I feel like they have, like, whatever they say is backed up with proof. So when he's suggesting something, the fact that Lally is not objecting to either, leading or calling for speculation, and the fact that Auntie,
Judge Bev,
didn't say, all right, that's enough, guys. The fact that she allowed it, I think there's a little bit more to it. So
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe when the defense presents their case, they have some sort of like clean audio, or maybe they have another dash cam that has the audio.
Oh, that's
and you
true.
can actually hear it, but they can't introduce it yet.
That's a good. That's
whatever.
A good, I just felt
Well,
like. Go ahead, Allie. Go ahead.
Are you sure? Because I was just gonna say I was, every claim that they made in the opening too. I'm expecting some sort of like proof or evidence for that. But I got to be honest, you guys. Even if it's clear as day and that's what she says, that doesn't really mean much to me either way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because so
it doesn't mean anything, but to me either way. But I just felt like, okay, well, I don't hear what I'm supposed to be hearing, and immediately, rather than thinking that there's something that it could be wrong, like I'm not hearing it because I'm not really supposed to be hearing it on this version of his dash cam, this audio, we won't be able to hear it. Immediately, the Catholic guilt in me kicks in, and I think something is wrong with my hearing. And I can almost hear my mom say, I told you not to listen to that fucking music so loud. I can. Oh, my mom did drop the F-bomb. She was no stranger to an F-bomb, but she didn't drop it as much as I do.
Well, what I find curious also is,
okay.
Sorry.
No,
what I also find curious is how just with starting the cross-examination, he pulled up the CAD logs or the 911 logs.
Yes.
And not even those damn things were accurate.
Yes. Yes. And that was a problem for me because
It's like,
okay.
what can you believe in this case?
Yes, and see, that's going to be a prevailing theme in these next three witnesses that we're going to talk about, because the next utterance that they reference frequently is, I hit him, and my problem with the dispatch log, because I think you missed this part because you were coming up,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's not consistently, and it's not the same wrong address consistently, meaning they don't continue to, the
Yes.
dispatch log says an address, but then the grand jury testimony is a different number. It's not like a
Yes.
typo. Okay. Like today,
Exactly.
I made a reply to somebody. I put 3 C's in some word that only needs 2. I can't even remember what the fuck the word was, but I looked at it later and I was like, no, I'm going to leave it. I'm just going to leave it with 3 C's, just like that. Accurate.
But here's the other thing. The other thing is that, for example, you know, police reports themselves are not admissible in court. So they can't put a police report on the projector and then be like, okay, let's read line by line what your police report says. They can only question the police officers and they can only refresh their recollections with them.
Right.
But what if you know, read the police reports, which are already like, you know, kind of available, and I'm not, you know, I know you guys are trying to like maintain neutrality, but the other interesting point, which I'm sure will be brought up as well, is that conveniently all of the witnesses' names were misspelled as well throughout, like consistently misspelled and not in the same way. Like it's not like autocorrect, you know, how it can
Oh, wow.
change something, but like each time it's spelled different. So for example, instead of Brian Albert, it would be like Albertson, and then the next time it's Alberts, and then it's like Bertson or whatever. Like, you know, each
Right.
time it's a different misspelling. So
That's odd to me. So then we get to, this is the other thing I didn't understand. Okay. And maybe you girls understood it a little bit better than me. What exactly were the weather conditions that day? Because when I watched this, so hold on there, because let me see when they pull it back up.
You couldn't understand that? No. You want to hear it one more time?
No.
I don't. Right here.
Look here.
Yes, sir.
look at Auntie Beth. No. Move
Also,
on.
let me talk about Auntie Bev for just one moment, if you don't mind. Auntie Bev,
Please.
Judge Bev, I'm going to need you to either mute your mic
Oh,
or back
hell,
up
that
off
breathing.
of it. Because let me say this, it is so jarring when you're sitting enthralled in testimony and then you hear or she gets, you can, and the thing is, she gives an audible sigh during some of the defense questioning, and I
She's
know
obnoxious.
I don't think that the jury can hear it in the same way that we can hear it.
They can.
Can they hear the audio the same? I know they can hear in the court, but does it come across? Because like Nate Eaton has said many times that it's very different being in the court versus watching at home. And so I'm just curious.
Oh, maybe certain mics.
Yes,
you're right, because certain mics are fed to like the courthouse, and then certain are only like just completely electronic, right?
Yes.
Just for their like AV equipment or whatever.
Yes.
And
So I'm
Zoom and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I'm like, it's very audible to the audience, and I'm hoping that it's not audible to the jury, because Judge Bev be sighing all the time. She sighs more than anybody that I know. And
I've watched all the hearings leading
Yeah.
up to this point as well, and this is a thing.
She's a sigher. She'll be back. She gets bumped off quite frequently. Here she is.
Oh, hi. I thought I was talking too much.
Nope, she left. Just kidding.
I was like, I hope I didn't bore her to death. Like,
No,
I'm out.
she has been begging, but not begging or really bugging, but she's been asking me to get you up.
Yes.
So
I know. I'm an avoider. Sorry.
Well, I love when you do actually come up and chat with us because, well, for one, I love Jen's brain, but then with yours too, like you have just so much knowledge. You're so well spoken. I love listening to you. Like I could just sit here. I don't even really need to talk. Just go ahead and talk about
Thank you.
it. And I'll
Oh my God.
listen.
Thank you. But no, I'm just calling it as I see it. And yes, she is a mic breather, for sure. So I'm convinced that she has already received some feedback because you know how people are.
Yes.
Liberal with like emailing the courts and stuff. I don't know if you've been following the Delphi case, but that's a whole cluster.
Yeah, we're not there
Anyways,
yet. We'll get
so
there.
I know we're almost there. Ugh, and I can't wait. But the weather conditions, I do want to say, I did look up the, and this is me, obviously, like, and these people who are on the jury lived it, so they'll probably know. Maybe not like at 6 in the morning. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that like at 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, when the cops pulled up 6 a.m. During that time frame, it was light snow. Like it wasn't heavy snow. It was like a light dusting of snow is what the thing said.
Okay.
In the report that it says a dusting of snow was covering John O'Keefe.
Okay.
They're making it sound like he was under 6 feet of snow. The actual heavy snow and the like really strong blizzard-like conditions only picked up at noon that day. So
Right.
it wasn't until after 5 hours later. So
Okay.
so that were the weather conditions. And the fact that they're wasting, I should say, like 30 minutes per witness talking about the freaking weather. Just put the weather conditions from the Weather Channel in the freaking record and let's move past the freaking weather. Like I was raging today because it was taking 5 ever
Just
to get
today?
through the,
That it didn't.
well, every day.
You're
but
not holding on
specifically-
to it at 9:50 p.m.
Specific,
Still?
I'm definitely raging still. Specifically today, because not only was it a short day,
Yes.
but we don't have court tomorrow. So Auntie Bev needs to get it going with the freaking snowstorm. Can we get an objection for cumulative? Who cares? Like, move on.
See,
Sorry.
this was no. You're right, because the reason why they need to just address it and move on from it is that it's now it's getting lost in the sauce. And the point of the testimony to say that it's all this snow was on top of him, which actually none of the witnesses today testified to, is that he was out there from 12:15, which is when Karen's car was seen outside of their home, until
Which
they
makes no
pulled
sense.
right until they pulled back up at 6:00. Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
And the other thing about the weather, why I think they're emphasizing it so much, is because they're going to have to explain why they didn't find 45 pieces of broken tail light anywhere on or around John O'Keefe.
right.
When they were out there, when they first responded. Instead, yeah.
Well, we're not there yet. Remember,
I know.
I
Well,
appreciate the Jade Raid. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Take it away, Allie.
I was just gonna say that just a couple quick things. So the pieces of her tail light, what we heard in the opening from the defense about her hitting his car on the way out and pieces not showing up and being found until after they had already taken her car. I'm very interested to know a little more about that. And like I said, I have to finish today's, but I did want to say, so yesterday they had mentioned something about a search, and me and Jen were like so confused. We're like, how are they not sure what time it happened if they have like a forensic expert doing a data dump or whatever? Well, today I had talked to Dietz about it a little bit, and we're not going to bring this into like our opinions, but just to say there was a report that came out. It's by someone with the last name of Had, who works for the Commonwealth, and in this report she does note 3 searches of that, one being at that 2 a.m. time and then the other 2 at 6. So we can't really count it yet till the report comes
So
out.
we can, I guess, like, if we're going to look at the opening statements, because, they did talk about that as well when they did their motion in limine before trial. But as this trial progresses, you will because they did reference the grand jury a couple of times during their cross-examination. So you already know that a grand jury has been summoned for one thing or another. And you know that all of these same witnesses have been questioned for one thing or another that allowed them to change their story. So now there's the Karen Reed indictment, but there's also the other grand jury testimonies that they have. So what I think, they'll be doing, which I think he did in the opening statements, he said, you will know at the end of it. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you're going to consider, but it's like, no, like, you'll know when you see this shit that they found 45 pieces of taillight 3 weeks after the incident happened. And it just so happens that this old guy who's ripe for retirement, who probably can't even see right in front of his face, happens to see a bright piece of red taillight in the snow at the bank where John's body was found 3 weeks after this happened. Like,
3 weeks?
Yes. They did not find anything on the first day.
They didn't. They testified to that. And they even busted out the leaf blower, which is
collects evidence.
Wait, for what?
To blow away the snow.
Oh,
they have snow blowers?
Wouldn't that blow away the evidence?
I would, if it's little tiny pieces of plexiglass, yes. Taillights are not heavy. Like the plastic that's used to make them is not heavy. You could blow those away with a leaf blower. So theoretically,
guess what they collected the blood in the snow with?
What?
Their tongue?
They didn't have any like CSI, whatever it's called, like no like little tubes where they could put some snow in. No, these MFers got some red Solo cups from one of the neighbors.
Red Solo cup. I fill you up.
Yep. Just put some snow in the Solo cups and put them in a paper bag and put it in his car and transport and claimed
and called it good.
Called it evidence.
Oh my God Almighty. You have got to be kidding me. Which we're cheating a little bit. But that's okay.
Yes.
We can cheat a little
bit.
We
can still cheat a little bit.
Dr. B is a rarity. You know what I mean? Her coming on. So I feel like it's warranted.
I have to nag the shit out of her to do this. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that, babe. Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, I don't know that they talked about the red Solo cups yet, because I think that'll be the very, very well talked about Trooper Michael Proctor. He's the one who collected the evidence because he's the one who was the lead detective in the case, right?
Yes, because Mr. John O'Keefe was a Canton police officer. They didn't want to have Canton investigating it, so they had the Stadies come out. So the Stadies are the ones that took over and did it. And the next person that testified was Stephen Mullaney from Canton PD, and he's a police officer. Okay, he spoke with Jen McKay, but he didn't notice the ground under the victim. He didn't notice the condition of the victim's body, other than, quote, it might have had a little frozen water on the face. He says that the victim was about 10 feet from the curb from from the curb and the sidewalk. So he was actually on the line, on their lawn, not in the easement. The sidewalk is public property. He was
Officer Saraf said that John O'Keefe's body was approximately, quote unquote, 20 feet from the road. The other one said 16. Another one said 9. So that's the first responders, right?
So what? Yeah. So then,
basically, these first 2 days were just a bunch of wasted time because they could have gotten all of those done with just 1, 2, buckle my shoe, let's go.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Michael Proctor,
Just
Jen
bust out a
McCabe,
tape
911
measure.
call. Let's put the 911. We're going into day 3. We still haven't heard the 911 call, but they called half of the freaking Canton Police Department. Now that's shady.
Well, okay, I have a problem with the police officer being. Thank you, and Melissa. By the way, thank you very much. That was very generous. I appreciate that. My problem is, how are you going to be a first responder on the scene and you can't remember what the scene will look like? John O'Keefe was the scene, okay? And it bothered me. I had a problem with that. I didn't understand, but yet he could remember that Karen Reed screamed this repeatedly. Is he dead? That's what she repeatedly screamed. And then on cross, he said he saw a woman giving CPR, but he doesn't recall if it was Karen Reed. He said that Jen McCabe was calm, and he didn't hear Karen Reed say, "I hit him. It's my fault." And then he doesn't recall any crime scene tape, but other officers were searching for evidence. A leaf blower was used to clear the scene, and he saw no glass or plastic, and at no time did anybody bring blankets out from the house. It seems like nobody that was in the house came out of the house at any point while they were all there.
It seems like they confirmed it.
Well,
they said nobody came out of the house.
I wasn't there yet.
I was gonna say, didn't they?
Oh,
say
sorry.
something?
Is this
you're all right.
Oh, is this still the summary? Oh, I thought you were like. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were
No, babe, you're
discussing
fine.
at this point.
We're discussing now. We're discussing this. I just wanted because I'm having.
I didn't know the format. I just came in like a wrecking ball.
No. I love that you came in like a wrecking ball because it's so. I want to talk about this with you, but I got to make sure that for the people in the chat that don't know, I got to tell them what we're talking about. So. This ain't just one of our phone calls, Dr. B. One of our many glorious phone calls that we have where we can just chit chat away. But I had an issue with that. I don't understand why a first responder would not remember what the victim looked like. To me, that is, I can understand not remembering minute details, inconsequential details. For example, maybe the color of the pants that he was wearing, or the color of his socks, or any of his clothing, like specific colors, other than to say it was a sweatshirt, right? Or it was jeans. I can understand after all this time not remember. It's not really been that long, but for a cop to see all the stuff that they do on a daily basis, I can understand not remembering that detail. But not remembering the condition, what he looked like. Because when I listened to his brother testify, it sounded like violent. I don't know another way to put it. It sounded like a lot of, maybe violence not the right word, but there was a lot of very noticeable injuries.
Visible, yeah.
Very visible.
Yeah.
I agree, except for I'm very curious now about what they pointed out, injuries from, the torso area and that stuff, which we kind of talked about yesterday. Melissa said, who is your most anticipated witness? And I was just thinking, because Nunya had put in the chat that she's looking forward to like 5 or 6. Well, I don't know these players except for what we heard in the opening statements. And that was, the freaking Commonwealth, they were all over the place. It was hard to really bad.
Yeah.
And but the defense,
I started making some sort of little for my mom, actually, because I got my mom into this case because were going. I
We
know.
need to get Baca on the panel then.
We were going to see, my nephews or whatever. I was telling her, oh my God, tomorrow opening statements to this case. Let me tell you, and it was a long drive because it's like an hour and a half. So I'm like, so the story begins in Boston. Okay. Well, actually, just a little outside of Boston. Okay. Now buckle up. This morning, she's like, yo, can I come over? You need to translate some of this, but this is good.
Oh my God, how
I love
adorable
it.
is that?
I love it.
Even
Y'all,
she
Dr.
is
B, we have
suspicious.
got to get Baca up on the panel one of these times, especially for
Ah,
this one,
Yes.
Oh my
because
God,
I
that's
cannot
adorable.
wait to hear Baca's analysis. I love her.
She already analyzed it. She was done after the opening statement. She was ready to deliberate.
Oh my God. Oh, Baca. Oh, thank you, Bushit. I appreciate that, babe. Thank you very much. MK always has immunity. MK stays on immunity in this at the ward. He's always got immunities over here. I just don't understand. I guess okay, I'm going to tell you what. After all the witnesses that were on the test that testified today, the fact that none of them really could remember what the except for the paramedic Nettle, he remembered because he's the one that performed life-saving measures. But I had a huge issue with the I hit him. Here's why I had an issue with that. Okay, you guys, because Mr. Nettle, officer, I don't know what to call him, firefighter, paramedic Nettle said that he heard Karen Reed say, I hit him. Now, he also says that Karen Reed was erratic, hysterical, and despondent. Okay, despondent usually means quiet, not responsive. They're just like in a state of shock, right? Is that not what despondent means?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how can you be hysterical and
Well,
erratic and despondent? How can
well,
you be screaming and
here's
despondent?
here's what got me about his testimony, because
Okay.
yes, that's what he said, but then on cross-examination and upon further questioning, it
Yes.
came out that, first of all, not only was this not in any report
Correct.
that he later wrote, second of all, this was not part of his testimony or whatever. This was not part of his statement when he was interviewed by Michael Proctor. Third of all, that I hit him only came up in the grand jury testimony for the first time. So now this is the second time, that he's saying that he heard that, but it's different from, so again, that Michael Proctor comes up. So if we're going with the theme of what the defense wants us to consider, which is she's being framed, and one of the biggest figures here is Michael Proctor. So what I'm listening for is, are these testimonies really changing after talking with Proctor, and
Right.
how
Right.
much of his control is in there? So that was where, sure, he was credible in terms of the life-saving measures and about O'Keefe and
Right.
the injuries, though he did try to backtrack after he first said that, yes, it is consistent with the fight, and then try to backtrack.
Yes, he did.
And then the last thing with the dog claws, like he clearly, where Auntie Bev lost her little mind and was like,
she
no,
did.
no,
That's enough.
that's enough. But he did it. He clearly did it subconsciously, which is what ultimately common sense is, right? He was
Right.
clawing a professional who was a paramedic, who was trained in however many years of experience. When asked to describe those injuries, instinctively and intuitively clawed at his arm. So that's
Exactly.
telling to me.
Exactly. And see, this was my other issue, okay, with all of that. What you said about it not being in any report, but the way that Nuttall said that it happened. So first he says that he is performing CPR on John O'Keefe, okay? And he in between he was working the back. And in between that, Karen is milling around somewhere, and he looks up and he says to her, "Do you know him?" And her response is, "I hit him. I hit him." Now,
Yes.
that is an inappropriate response to the question asked. Okay.
Right.
If he had asked her what happened and she gave that response, see, "Do you know him?" requires either a yes or a no. It's very cut and dry.
It
And
is
so
evident from the dash cam that she was clearly like
out of it,
completely out of it.
she was upset.
And yeah, and the fact that he yelled out a question like, "Do you know him?" Like while she's screaming there, like, "Is he dead? Is he dead? That's my boyfriend. Is he dead? Is he dead?" And he's like, "Do you know him?" Like, okay. Which, you know, I'm not saying that he didn't ask her that or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's not
does
in any reports. Like,
correct.
it's just, you
See,
know,
and
suspicious.
that
Even
was
if she did say that, like, let's
right.
say, even if she did say it, I would be like, what the hell happened to him? How long has he been out here for? Did I hit him? Like,
Right.
what the hell happened?
There would be
You
some
don't know.
follow-ups. I wouldn't say, if she had said, "I hit him, I hit him." And let me preface this. While I am not a paramedic, my dad was for many, many years, and he also taught paramedic school. And guess who used to ride along and sit and listen to my dad teach paramedic school? Ya girl. Do you know how many times I was bandaged, wrapped, strapped to boards? It was a whole thing. And I learned some things about that. Plus, I have friends that are firefighter paramedics, and they're real calm. Obviously, it would not serve for a paramedic to be wilding out if somebody else. But when somebody says, "I hit him, I hit him," right? There's usually a follow up to that, or if
With what, right? Like, what did you hit
obviously
him with?
correct, because
We
we
need to
need
know
to
what
know
the
what
injuries are
happened.
from.
Correct. We need to know what the hell happened so we can help him. We need to know what we're dealing with here.
Yeah,
So
like what you hit him with, a
correct.
freaking Mike Tyson's fists, like, you
Correct.
know?
Correct. Like, but this was my problem. This was something that I noticed when they called the witnesses to testify that were from the paramedics that were from the fire department. What I noticed is they spent, to me, what appeared to be an inordinate amount of time going over their training. And this is why I had an issue and side-eyed that, because normally that is something that is reserved when you're going to proffer a witness as an expert. The difference between a regular witness and an expert witness is that an expert witness is allowed to give an opinion. So, for example, if they had been proffered as expert witnesses, when the first firefighter was asked, "Is this injury consistent with or inconsistent with an assault or a fight or a punch," or whatever it was that he was asked, they're allowed to testify to that if they're an expert.
Guess who we didn't hear from?
Who?
We didn't hear from the medical examiner. And guess what the medical examiner is going to tell you?
What?
Well, here's one thing. Whether she said I hit him or not, it doesn't matter, because if his injuries and his death is not consistent with being hit by a car, then it doesn't matter what she said.
That's what I'm getting to as well. We're going to get there, because I have a problem with that. But I could not understand why they spent such an inordinate time.
Sorry, just one more thing, and
Okay.
I gotta run anyway.
Okay, babe.
And
Okay.
thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime, every time. You know
Yeah.
that. You're always welcome. It's your
But
StreamYard. You can you can come up here anytime.
But the kind of along the same lines with whether or not she said I hit him, is kind of like, okay, my Kurt Cobain theory as well. Like, people are questioning, like, did he kill himself? Did he not kill himself? What, was he suicidal? Was he not suicidal? Oh shit, I'm saying all the words.
Don't worry about it. We're so far into it, we'll be fine.
Okay. Oh damn. And I
don't worry about it, babe. It's fine. This is true crime. These are the words.
This
These
is
are the
why I
correct
keep getting
words.
comments on my videos talking about where's part 1, is because I can't control my language. Like, I just keep saying the words and they keep taking it down.
Yeah, I always say the words too. That's okay. use the
Yeah,
word,
but
damn it.
I know we shouldn't shame that word. Like, come on. But anyways, so the question about whether or not he was at this point is moot because the level of morphine in his blood system is inconsistent with him being injected with that and then carrying out a self-harming act in that order,
Right.
which is impossible. Okay,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying in this case as well. Like, she could have said, oh, I fucking hit him, and I ran over him twice, 24 miles per hour, like,
Oh,
she
you want
could
me to
go
do the
all
Roz
out.
voice? Let me do it. Let me do the Roz
Please.
voice. 24 miles per hour.
Yes.
You forgot to put it in your report.
If he does not have bruising on his torso from being hit by a 6,500-pound vehicle,
Right.
then I'm sorry. Like, she can say whatever she wants, Talk
Right.
about false confessions, Rickard Allen. Anyway, sorry.
I agree
Right.
with
There's
that,
no,
though.
let me
And
make this really clear. Hold on really quickly. Just 1 second. There's no morphine. She's talking about Kurt
I'm
Cobain.
talking about Kurt
no
Cobain.
Melissa.
Sorry. Jeez.
but I agree with you about the torso thing. I'm looking forward to the medical examiner.
Mhm.
And also they're talking about his arm, the scratches and stuff. I know some people have seen the pictures, I believe. I haven't seen them. The jury hasn't seen them yet, but apparently, based on the defense's opening statement, which I believe he will bring, show, or I believe everything in the opening statements he claims they're going to show why they got there. But apparently it looks like a dog or something like that. And then we know that the Alberts apparently testified at the grand jury, right? And then afterwards got rid of the dog. So the injuries altogether are weird.
Right.
Suspicious, yes.
They are right. When the paramedic was explaining
That's
basically
weird.
what John looked like, it didn't sound like being hit with a vehicle, because usually, it sounded more serious than that, like violent is what it sounded like, where the injuries were. And the fact that, was he tying his shoe when she backed over him? How is all of the injuries, really on his face? You know what I mean? Like, that's where it's,
Back of
it's
his
on the
head.
back of his head. I am keeping an open mind.
All on his right arm, as if, someone would do to protect themselves from, I don't know,
like defensive
a
wounds.
dog attacking you.
Yeah. It's,
But I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Thank
Oh,
you
no,
for
babe.
having me. Like, so much. This was so much fun, and I definitely am gonna be more
Yes,
impulsive
you better.
like this. So.
You better come back. I'm
Yeah,
gonna hold you to it. And
especially
now I
once we-
have you on audio. So this is a verbal contract, and there are 75 motherfuckers in here who witnessed this. So if you don't come back, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it'll be bad.
Well, thankfully we were
especially-
sealed by Chad Daybell. So
Oh my God, I
we're
forgot
good.
about that. We've been sealed.
Well,
I forgot
especially
about
once we
that.
get more information, I think you should come back, because
Absolutely.
once we know more, because we don't know as much as you do.
Yes.
Jen's been telling me that
Yes.
you were very excited for this, but
I've been counting.
Yes.
I got Vaca all excited. She's
I know.
on
I can't-
the team.
I'm so glad you got Baca on board, because I love her. And I
Yes.
would love to have her up here just to hear what she
it would
thinks.
be hilarious.
Yes, it would. You have to
All
make
right.
her do it. All right. I love you.
Thank you for having me. Bye,
You're
ladies.
welcome, babe. All right. Bye.
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 Love you,
shit,
bye.
I almost ended the stream.
You need
Oh
to
my
say it. You don't say it back to me. I'm going to ban you from the
Oh, I
studio.
love you too. No, I got scared. I almost ended the stream because.
Oh
Sorry.
my God.
How do I exit? Okay, bye.
I love you. Okay,
So, Bendy, as far
yes,
as
babe.
just real quick before we go on to anything
And-
else, when it comes
No,
to
just keep
her, I
talking.
hit him statements.
Yes.
What do you make of that? I know that you said it doesn't seem like the correct response to the question. For me, in the openings, which that's not evidence. I understand that, but now we're hearing
Mhm.
testimony about it. But that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me, right? That I was
Mhm.
like, ooh, that's weird. Why would she say that? Now I'm not so sure that I don't know. But do you believe that how likely that some random, what is it, EMS firefighter would just get up there
Mhm.
and lie like that? So what do you think?
This is what I think. I don't think that it is a lie. One of the things that he admitted on cross examination towards the end of the cross is that this case has garnered a ton of attention. And it is something that they talk about at the firehouse quite frequently. And
Right.
that he has been in preparation for this trial, but the conversations take place, he would say, daily. He says it's quite frequently. And I don't think that
Right.
he lied. What I think is that memory is a funny thing. I think Karen said something. I do think she was screaming. I do think she was hysterical. That I believe, because so many people, that part I believe.
Right.
But what I am not so sure about is if he is actually having a true memory, an independent memory, or yes, Natasha, the first paramedic, or is it a memory that because he also admitted that he's been racking his brain and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. Good night, MK Lynn. See ya. Thanks for being here.
He's a
Is it
Canton firefighter and paramedic. Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
Is it an independent thought or independent memory, or is it an influence memory because even if he didn't engage in conversation, you can still hear. And so I don't think it was a lie. I do think she said something. I do think she said a lot of things. I think she was freaked the fuck out. Either way it goes, whether she is guilty or she is not. I do think she was freaking out. I do.
Right.
What do you think is BS, just Steph? What part is BS, babe? So I'm not sure, and I'm not really moved either way about the actual words that she said. What I am moved by is why was this not documented? Now I know that Officer Nuttall was not in charge of writing the patient care report. That was the next officer from the fire department who is lieutenant. He's now a lieutenant with the fire department, Anthony Flamati. That was his job, and we didn't get to finish hearing all of his testimony today. But what sticks out to me is that if you heard it, why didn't you tell somebody? Because that is important. He didn't tell another firefighter, a cop, and more importantly, and probably in my opinion, maybe the most important thing is that he did not tell the hospital. It's even if you're not the one that's in charge of giving the information when you pull into the bay, and you start, telling the hospital staff what's going on, which they're already they're already communicating with them en route. But when you get there, that's when you say all the things, right? Even if he wasn't in charge of that, if that wasn't his job to do and it was somebody else, I would just follow up to make sure that they knew, because part of treating somebody is understanding what happened. And so, I mean, I would think it would be kind of important for that to have been mentioned, not for guilt or innocence, just for care to figure out what happened with John.
What's going on? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I
Because
don't know.
they're going to treat somebody who's been run over by a 6,000-pound car, whatever Dr. B said it was, by a heavy ass car, a little differently than they're going to treat somebody who's been in a fight. There's probably a lot more internal damage that could be taking place. The protocol, they might change up their care. Now but I realize that Mr. O'Keefe was not in the best condition. And I would also like to say that when the fire department, when the paramedic checked his pulse, he couldn't get a pulse. But that is by touching. Okay. Obviously, they did something. They gave him CPR, which I think there had to have been some type of sign of life, or why would they not pronounce him DOA? Why, or, I mean, sometimes it's clear. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, they felt
Yeah.
like there was something that could be done as far as life-saving measures, right? And so they began giving him CPR. So, and even none of that's neither here nor there. That's just something that I noticed, where I'm just like, why didn't he tell somebody? I can't get that. That doesn't mean that he was part of the frame up or anything like that. I don't if there was a frame up. I just don't understand why he didn't say that. What do you think, babe?
I don't know. I honestly don't even know what to think about it, Jen. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Like I said, just thinking that so many people would just be like in on this. But I know that it happens, so I'm trying to keep an open mind either way. When I fell off the panel, though, I really wanted to hear y'all's answer on your most anticipated witnesses. Who are they?
For me, I think it's going to come down to the medical examiner. I need to understand what exactly they found. That's what I need.
Okay.
And that's going to be for me to understand, first I feel like I need, yes, before I can figure out the who, I need to know the what. I need to know what happened, like as far as the injuries go, before I can even start down the road of did she or didn't she, was it who was it? If not her, then who? All of that. I need to understand that. And
for me, tell
what
me
do
the
you
rest. And do you have others?
No, go
'Cause I got
ahead.
a
I'll
few.
remember it. Oh, no. I want to hear what you have to say. I talked a lot.
Just my other people that I'm waiting for. Like, I'm definitely waiting for Jennifer McCabe and Proctor. The medical examiner, I think, is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear from, what is her name? Hold on. Alberts, Brian's wife. I got it written somewhere. I want to hear from her because hold on. I was just looking through my notes, and there was something out. Okay. Apparently, she claims that at 5 a.m., Karen calls her and says that John didn't come home. And this is the person who claimed that Karen said, he must have been hit by a plow. He must be dead. So
Yes.
I want to hear from her. And then also, Nunya had mentioned this guy, and I wouldn't even have thought about it, but I'm very interested. Remember yesterday we talked about that timeline from the defense, that from 2:12 to 3:30, all that stuff, and that phone call that, remember, because Brian Albert says that he had no contact with anyone, but he makes a phone call at 2:22 to a guy named Brian Higgins. He's an ATF agent.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't answer, but then he calls back and they have that 22-second call. I want to hear from that guy too. Because a lot can be said in 22 seconds. But I don't know. Those would be mine.
Right. And I think for me, why I'm stuck on the first responders is because all of the first responders and anybody that was, looking or collecting evidence, everything that the investigation for me isn't, eyewitness testimony is very, very sketchy. Memory is a funny thing. And there are a lot of things that, there's a lot of external forces that play into memory. So I don't really rely heavily on eyewitness testimony. It's not, I don't give that evidence that much weight. It has to be real compelling. For me, it's if everything from the beginning of the investigation was poorly documented and poorly handled, then in my opinion, I worry about how the rest of the investigation flowed, because it all starts there and then it flows from there. So if
Yeah.
the address is incorrect, and I'm not talking about like a typo where it was 34 and they said 32. They changed it from they said 32 and 35. You know, why not throw 33 in there or 31? What happened to those numbers? Were they not an option? It's just weird to me. And
Right.
it comes across as sloppy. And if the investigation from the very beginning is sloppy, then for me, I'm concerned, like I said, about how the rest of the investigation is
Oh, yeah.
handled and how credible
Eh,
the results of that investigation can be. And that's why I'm so stuck on this initial testimony. And that's why I'm waiting for the medical examiner, because I'm hoping that the questions that I have from this might be answered in some way, or some of the questions that I have may be answered when the medical examiner testifies. That's how I feel about it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to hear from Proctor. He was the lead detective. There's a lot of accusations now coming from the defense to this guy, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and remember also about where is it? Hold on. The text. Okay, wait. The
Yes.
secret, his feelings about Karen and called her
Mm-hmm.
names. Told friends he wished she'd kill herself. He wasn't supposed to go through the phone at that time, and also the nudes thing, like looking for nudes of her. Well, I want to
Okay.
hear him be questioned about that. Not that
Me
it's
too.
gonna. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know that
here it does
it has
matter.
anything.
It does matter to
Well, I'm
me.
not saying it doesn't matter.
No,
I'm
like,
not saying that it's going to point exactly to if she was innocent or guilty. However, it's
right,
going to give a good viewpoint on his investigation from the beginning and his mindset from
right. And I
jump.
want to hear yes. And so it's sort of like let's not play. We've all heard accusations between creators fly on YouTube. It happens all the time. And we've heard creators say A, B, and C happened, or this was sent in private message. Person A said 1, 2, 3, right? And then when person A is like, that's not how it happened, and here's the context. See, for me, the texts, all the context around that, I need to see the conversation. I need to see how those texts came to be, why he responded or started did he respond? Or was it a conversation starter? And when did it happen? Did he feel this way about Karen after he began investigating and he thought she was a suspect? It's not appropriate. You should not allow your personal feelings about what you find through the investigation it shouldn't make you feel you shouldn't take it personally. You're supposed to keep your personal feelings out of it, and because you don't ever want to get tunnel vision, and you don't want to ever say that your investigation was tainted. But at the end of the day, humans are human and they're going to human. So I need to know the order of events and the context surrounding those texts, because I think that's going to make it. I just need to know that for me to be able to put that, to understand what weight I will give it, if any. I need to know all of those things. See, it's not, I
Okay.
guess, yeah, for me, my approach is I'm listening to the defense, obviously, right? But it's not really the defense's job, especially right now. It's the state's job. It's their case in chief. They're the ones with the burden of proof. They're the ones that have to prove Karen Reed did this, that she committed this crime on this day in the way that they said. I don't need it doesn't motive
Yeah,
is
but you know,
extra.
don't you think the defense has put on, I was going to ask you about motive actually, but don't you think like with each witness, even though it's the Commonwealth case in chief or whatever right now, it's their turn.
Right.
Don't you think the defense has like taken over like for me, they've made much better
Yes,
points.
they've poked some holes. So when they get
Mm-hmm.
the firefighters on the stand and they go through how well trained they are and the amount of experience that they have, that's great. But when you really get down to what did they actually say? What did they actually see? And then when it is some of the wind is taken out of their sails on cross, and the state gets an opportunity, and we didn't even talk about this part. The state had an opportunity and they took it. They were back on redirect. And usually that's when they will, if they've lost any ground, this whichever side it is, they will, when they get, redirect, that's where they'll try to take back some of the ground they might have lost. And I have to be full disclosure. I told you guys I would. I don't think that they did that today. With those two witnesses, I don't think that they did any sort of, I think when the wind was taken from their sails, they didn't get it back on redirect. It did not. I wasn't like, oh, okay, that explains it. Oh, that clarifies it. So
I agree with you. Just that's exactly what Jen just said. She said it's on the state to prove their case.
Right.
So I don't know what you mean, but
Allie is saying that. Allie is saying that yes, it is on this. It's on the state. But did I think that the defense on cross basically scored any points? And I do agree with that.
Yes.
They did.
Yes,
they did.
Exactly. And another thing I wanted to ask you, just because I'm curious, because it's a little different than a lot of trials that we've been recently watching, how up close these cameras are on her and stuff. And because the jury's going to watch her body language. So for you watching, has her body language said anything to you? Made you feel one way or another at all in any way?
Not really, because I think that I don't know how to say this, and I don't want to be offensive, but Karen kind of always has the same face. Bless her little heart. She's a very pretty woman, but she does have a little resting bitch face. And I know because I suffer from it too. Okay. So I can recognize that in somebody else. And so when you see that, like a consistent face like that, then you're like, okay, that person's not actually, they're not really doing anything. It's not an actual something that you should, like a body language or a reaction. It's just their face. And that's kind of how she is. She's quite stoic. And so I haven't really seen anything, in my opinion, that is, but I will say this. So one of the things that the defense did is they wanted a different courtroom because they did not like the angle that the jury would be seeing of Karen Reed. So they wanted a whole different, and they ended up just saying, no, we're just going to move into a smaller courtroom. And when they did that, what ended up happening is the jury, if they're looking at Karen, they're going to see John O'Keefe's family in the front row crying. So I'm not so sure how that worked out so well for them. It's not evidence they're supposed to consider, though, but it is. You would be amazed at what you're considering that you don't even realize that you're considering, what you've taken in just by virtue of your senses, just watching and, using your eyes, and it leaves an impact that you don't even realize it has until you look back on it, So.
Well, I mean, the judge did say to, not necessarily with Karen, but with the witnesses, and don't just pay attention to what they say, how they're saying it, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I agree with you. You don't necessarily think about everything you're considering. But for me, I agree. I think she's nothing really either way with her demeanor. She is stoic, but she is paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I was watching her watch the body cam, and she paying attention.
She's fully invested in this trial. And I will say, yes, Natasha, I do agree. She's been coached to show no emotion like every other defendant. There's a difference between a blank face and an RBF. Look at Chad. Chad Daybell is a blank face. He has zero expression.
Except for when
Karen,
he cried. Now.
correct. But for the most part, it's completely
Yeah.
blank. The only other defendant that I have ever seen have a completely blank expression for hours at a time was George Wagner IV. I've never seen another human being be able to give literally zero face. And
Right.
for Karen, it's nothing that she does. It's not incredibly overt, but it's something that she does with her mouth. But it is part it if you don't if you only see it one time, it almost looks like she's mean mugging, but when you like watch her over time, you realize it's just her face. And it's
Yeah.
not as blank as um that would be as ideal. Chad has the ideal blank face. I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody be able to sit like that.
Yeah, I agree. But like he did cry, and we've seen. I know that they're all told. They might be told not to show emotion, but I would say that they're also like I think Pryor encouraged Chad's crying during that. I could totally see him being satisfied. He was watching him and patting him on the shoulder. Oh poor
Yeah.
Chad. He loved Tammy so much. So I think that they can also be kind of encouraged to show some emotion depending on what's going on. But that's exactly what I was thinking. It's like she's media trained. You can see that
Hmm.
she knows she's being watched, and she's being watched very closely. I mean, people
Yes.
just like coffined after commenting on her skirt. I mean, people
Let me
are
say that.
paying
Can we
attention.
just address that for a moment?
Yeah.
If First of all, I saw the outfit that Karen Reed was wearing, and I mean, they were over the knee, but I would not say the way that she described them was like they were thigh high, like up your thigh. These are just a little bit over the knee. I thought she looked very well put together. Quite frankly, I think she dresses impeccably. Her suits, that's not a, that, I don't think that should have been, I don't like what was said. It's not so much, I don't like what was said, and I don't like the underlying tone of what was said.
I
Do you
don't
guys
either. And I don't
know?
like who said it.
Me either. Listen, as women, and this is not yay women, boo men, okay? But as women, we really do need to do better and stop tearing each other down all the time. We actually outnumber the men by quite a significant number. And if we would all stop fighting one another and work together like we should be, we could be running this joint. That's all I'm going to say about that. We got to quit that. We got to do better. There's no reason for that. It was petty and it was uncalled for. Did you know, speaking of outfits, did you know that every single week John Pryor gets Chad's shirts and pants dry cleaned and takes them to the jail for Chad to wear his outfits for the week? Do you know he brings those to him? Did you guys know that?
No, but I'm not surprised. No, but I'm not surprised just because I know that they bring him clothes anyway. It's pretty funny, the dry cleaning thing, but
Yeah, it's
they,
different. It's one thing to bring outfits. It's another to have them dry
yeah,
cleaned because you know that they're,
yeah,
starched and they're ironed and all of that stuff. And I just thought, that, homeboy is getting a haunted piece of land as payment, whether Chad
yeah,
is found guilty or not guilty, that Proctor is going to get that house and that land. Um, Yet he is doing what he's doing. I just thought I've never seen an attorney do that it's one thing to bring an outfit. It's another thing to take the outfits and have them dry cleaned and bring them back. It's important. It just goes to, there is a level of a relationship there that exists between Pryor and Chad that I don't think I was aware of until I saw that footage, is my point.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why,
I don't know, man.
Ryan, why were you crying? Hold on. Let me scroll up.
something about Fortnite, and somebody said they
Oh,
can't stand him. My friend that called my other friend on the phone said he can't stand me, and I was hanging out with my friend from work on Fortnite. Then my other friend was talking about me. I mean, I don't know.
well, Ryan, that ain't cool. That is not cool at all. We like you over here, so don't worry about it. And Neat Noodle, thank you for gifting a membership to the Ward Case Studies. Let's see.
Oh,
Should we do the video, Allie? You feel like dancing real quick? Here we go.
yeah.
I'm warning you, so now you can keep it under control. Here we go.
Thank you.
Here for the gossip. Blah, blah.
No malicious intent or effort was towards it. No malicious.
We all do a little mad sometimes.
Here for the gossip. Blah, blah.
There you go. Oh, Allie, you guys. Allie, you're such a good she's so encouraging, you guys. Now, I'm just gonna say, she sent me a private message in the chat behind the stage or behind this whatever, the backstage, whatever the fuck it's called. And she just put the little fire emoji. She is forever encouraging me on my video making all the days. She tells me all the time, you do such a good job. Do more. She's so good to me like that. She just
You do.
really
I wish you did do more. Seriously.
It takes me too long.
Because you're freaking good at it. You're very
Thank
talented.
you.
I truly believe that you could. I think you could do a lot with your video making skills, and I think you're on the level that you could truly make video like intros and stuff for people, in my opinion. But that's just my thought.
Oh, thank you. Hold on a minute. Did I miss your milestone? Casey May, hold on. Let me scroll up. Let me look. Because it's not in the starred, which is weird. That usually it is. I will find it and I will highlight it. Here it is, right here. I sure did miss it. Casey May, thank you so much for being a member for 5 months. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all the support you guys give me. I really do. I really do. I appreciate it. And I am so sorry, Casey. I did not see that, babe. I'm so sorry. I feel awful. But I'm not going to harp on it because I tend to do that. And then it just makes it awkward for everybody. Oh, shit. But yeah, I think, thank you, Abalist. You know you guys are both adorable, right? Wait, Allie is. Allie's
you.
pretty stinking adorable. Thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
that.
adorable too.
You're adorable too. How are you, babe? Good to see you. So yeah, I'm okay. This is kind of a good thing. I'm glad this is good that you're here, ATS, because we're supposed to be doing a live, the three of us, catching up with O'Daybell. And since there's no court tomorrow in Karen Reed, how do we want to do? Because it would technically be Allie's turn to do the recap, and my turn for the calls. So I would be, but I do, if we don't have Karen, I think maybe we ought to take advantage of this opportunity because it's not likely to come again where we have a break like this. And I kind of want to discuss the shenanigans that have been going on in the Daybell case. And I would like to say this. I said when we were talking about this, when Chad was coming up for trial, that there was going to be new information. There had to be new information because it's going to be centered around Chad and what Chad did. And there was new information. And I do want to talk about it. I just want to see when it's good for Ollie, for you and Allie. I can message you guys, but because it's really rude of me to be putting you on the spot.
No, I think that's a great idea, and I need to catch up with Daybell anyway.
Okay.
So I could do that during the day tomorrow, and then we could talk about it tomorrow evening, and we could do it here. I don't
Perfect.
care. I also
Okay.
I want to get Dr. B back on, of course. Deets,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
Munya,
Yes.
Glare, anybody who's been following it deeply. I know Melissa's even now following it.
Chasing.
It would even like to get her chasing. I would like to
Chasing's
get some
all
of
in
this.
it. Teresa.
Teresa, Lynn, which I've already talked
Mhm.
to Lynn about it a little bit, and I know she wants to. So yeah, I
'Cause
want to.
I do. I will say,
to all of them.
remember, I do too. Remember when Alex Murdaugh was on trial, and there were so many of us in this in the true crime community were discussing it and covering the trial, and we all would go on each other's panels and talk about
Yes,
it, and we
I
would
do
take
remember
turns.
that.
I've missed that. That was a fun time. And I think we are capable of doing that again. And Ryan, please don't be so hard on yourself, babe. We like you over here. Who gives a rat's fat kneecap? I know that whatever it was they said was rude and it hurt your feelings, but I'm telling you, don't pay them no, never mind. We like you.
Yeah.
And we want you to be here. And I don't think you
Agree.
deserve to be treated like that. No, I do not. So send them over here. I'll tell them the what for. But yeah, the things that are coming out in Chad's trial that were not in Lori's are quite fascinating, quite interesting. Things that I didn't know. And to be honest with you, I'm a little shook up about. Not even gonna lie.
I know. I'm very excited to talk about it. So yeah,
Yes.
let's do that if Amber can in the next whenever. If we
Absolutely.
can tomorrow. And then otherwise, I
Absolutely.
didn't realize there was no trial tomorrow. Wait, I did see that because is there no trial on Friday too, and only half a day Thursday, or what?
I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. Like, I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like I knew it at one point, but now it's like right out of my brain. It's completely written over. That data has completely been overwritten.
All right. Well,
I'll find out for us though, and I'll message you and let you guys know. But yeah. Oh, cool. ATS. That's awesome. Because I would love to hear about, how did I do that? I would love to hear your thoughts about what's taken place in the Daybell hearing and plus what's to come. One of the things that I'm kind of interested is when are they going to put Zulema on? Are they going to call her? When are they going to put Melanie P on? I cannot imagine that they would not put Melanie P, at least call her, at least attempt to put her on the stand. And the reason I say that is because she moved. Didn't she move? Yes. She moved to Idaho with Lori, did she not? Yes. Yes. So
right after, but yeah.
Yes. And she was close to Lori, and she had to at least know as much as Melanie Gibb did, probably more, only because she was there to see it firsthand. So
yeah, and remember, she was calling Chad father and things like that in those texts.
Yes.
They better bring her on the stand.
They better at least try. I have thoughts about that whole scenario that Allie knows because we talked about it, obviously. But we're going to definitely get into it tomorrow night because I've had this theory for quite some time, and some testimony that has come out has now sort of reinforced that a little bit for me. So yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Johnny, good to see you. Well, what do you think, babe? You think we covered it for the night? You think we good?
Yeah, I think we did. And then I think we'll jump right back in it as soon as we start back. I'm looking forward to it. I want a full day. I know Thursday's just going to be a half a day, I think. So I'm annoyed, but I'm ready.
Right. Well, this is actually good that we're going to switch gears and talk Daybell tomorrow because I need to go through the video chats, because remember how we said we were going to do them, the video visits, because
Yes.
now we're at May.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I need to like get that put together and organized for you guys. And
And you
so
let me know what I
that'll,
need to do.
you just be your sweet self.
Well,
But
I
if
want
we're
to
not,
help if there's a way I can. You
if
know.
there's, yeah, don't worry. If I need help, I'll reach out. But I don't know if, if we're going to do Daybell, maybe we should just not do the calls tomorrow, and that way we can catch up on all the trial and stuff as far as
Yeah, that's
Daybell
fine.
goes.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be good, and that'll give a day or so to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, that'll work. All right. Life as Leslie says, "Hi, friends. I've never commented and I'm way behind, but I think she yelled, I date him, because they asked how they knew him or something. I don't know. Ha ha. I mean, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than some spontaneous
Yeah.
busting out of, I hit him, So that,
I
I
agree.
mean, I feel like there's going to be more to this dash cam. I'm thinking that when it's the defense's turn, like Dr. B said, they're going to put something out. They're going to put something that they asked that question for a reason. They knew that it wasn't audible on that particular dash cam, but good attorneys, and I have no qualms about saying her defense attorneys are very good attorneys. Good attorneys do not ask questions that they don't know the answer to. So that tells me they asked that question for a reason. They knew the response they were going to get based on that audio, which tells me they did it. There's a reason, and they're probably going to put better audio from some other source up.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you.
So,
All right.
all
Well,
right, y'all. I'm
thank you
gonna
for
end
having
it.
me.
Thanks for being up here. Thank you, mods. Welcome to the new members. Thank you for the super stickers and super chats. And if you have not done so already, please give your girl a thumbs up on the stream. It helps to keep me in the algorithm. And I will see all of you guys tomorrow. Bye.
All right.